Hey guys, welcome to Train Check YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be solving this CodeWars Kata 8 algorithm question, which is sum of positive. So in this Kata 8 algorithm question, we are accepting array as an input, and then we are to loop through the array and then add all the positive numbers in the array and then return the sum of positive number we've added in the array. So, and if the array is null or is if the length of the array is less than zero, that means if you do not have anything in the array, you should return zero. So we'll be solving this uh, question in Visual Studio so we can be able to debug and see how it moves before we now come back to test our code here in CodeWars. So let's just copy this and then move to Visual Studio straight. So here is where I'll be solving it. So we are accepting the return type is int, then we are accepting an int of array as an input. So the first thing we will first do is to check. Okay, we can first declare results, which we'll be using to return the final results. Should be equals to 0. So and then check if array dot length is greater than 0. So if it is greater than 0, it should continue. So we will now do for loop to loop through the array. Then we do this and then do this for int I equals to 0, then I less than array dot length, and then I plus plus. So after looping through the array, what then are we going to do? We are just going to sum up the positive number we encounter in the array. So that will now be if um it will now be if array array at index I is greater than 0. So that means with this now we are getting the item of the array at that particular index that is greater than 0. So we are getting the number inside the array at this particular index that is greater than 0. So that is why I have to do array at index I. So at each index of the array, assuming we are having this now we are looping through this as according to example given to us. So one is at index 0 inside the array. So at index 0, if one is greater than 0, we will add it. So at index, this 2 now is at index 1. So at this particular index, if the number inside is greater than 0, we will add it. So that is just what I'm doing here. So array at index I, if it is greater than 0. So once it is greater than 0, it will enter this. Then I will do results plus equals to array at index I at that particular index. So then once we are done with the for loop, I can then return this array here and return this. So this is just what we need to do. So After checking if the array dot length is greater than 0, if it is not greater than 0, that is, if you have an empty array just like this, if you have an empty array without anything inside, we will have to return the result straight, and then the result will be 0 at that particular instance. So, but if it is greater than 0, if the array dot length is greater than 0, it will continue, and then we will use for loop to loop through the array, and then after using for loop to loop through the array, we use if statement to check if the number at the particular index inside the array is greater than 0. So if it is greater than 0, we will add it, add the particular number at that particular index to the result, and then after that we return the result. So let's just try this. Let's run it on debug and see how it moves before we copy our code to CodeWars. So okay, let's go to program class to call it. We can then say int array input equals to, let me just copy the example given to us here. So let me copy the first one, paste it one after the other, then we move to Visual Studio, move to paste our code to see. So int and this, oh, sorry, so I mean, okay, so we just new, so that's just a mistake. So we then console dot write line, and then we give the method name. Since the method is inside the Kata 8 class, then I can first call Kata 8 to have access to the method inside it. Dot positive sum, then I pass input inside here, and then I paste this, I put a breakpoint here, and then run it on debug. Let's see how it moves. So now we are having this array with this particular integers in it, which is 1 2 3 4 5. So let's see, let's run it on debug. So we're having this, we're having 1 2 3 4 5. So if array dot length is greater than 0, of course, which is greater than 0, we will enter the if statement and then use for loop to loop through it. So the index we are at this particular time is index 0, and which number is at index 0? 1 is at index 0. So we will add 1 to the result. If you check this now, the result will be equals to 1. So we move. Now we are at index 2. Which number is at index 2? We are at index 1, I mean. The first one was at index 0, now we are at index 1. So which number is at index 1? It is 2. So we'll be adding 2 to result. So the result will now be equals to 3. So we move again. Which number is at index 3? Is at index 2. Which number is at index 2? 3 is at index 2. So we'll be adding 3 to the list. So we'll be the result. We'll be adding 3 to the result. So the result will now be 6. So that is what we do. Just do that till we get, till we are done adding everything inside the list, inside the array, and then we come out with the for loop. So I will return the result. The result is now equals to 15. If we check down here, the result is equals to 15. So if we run this without debug, you'll see our answer is 15, just as it is expected here, which is 15. Expected result equals to 15. So let's copy this guy here. It will only add the sum. So let's see. So 13 as expected here. So now in this one I just pasted, now we have negative number. So let's see how it will move when it gets to the negative part of it. Let's just see. So int result is equals to 0 if array dot length is greater than 0 for each loop. The first one, if the index at index 1, it is at index 1. We have 1 at index 1, so 1 is still greater than 0, it will add. So at index 2 now we have minus 2. So let's see what it will do once it gets to that part. So is minus 2 greater than 0? It will jump since it's not greater than 0, you see. At this particular index, we are at index 1, and then it is minus 2, then minus 2 is not greater than 0. So it jumps, and then we go till it come out of the loop, and then that is just it. So now let's test the instance where we have nothing inside the array. And we have nothing inside the array. So let's see what will happen. So it results if array.length is greater than 0. Let's see. Since there is nothing inside the array, it will jump because the length is not greater than 0. We don't have anything inside the array, so it will jump the array. So that's just it. That's just all we need to do. So now let's copy our code and paste it and see if we will pass all the test cases. Let's see. Let's see if we will pass all the test cases. Whoa. Yeah. It was a mistake. I'm not supposed to copy the method name again. I'm not supposed to copy the method name again. Sorry, that's just a mistake. I'm supposed to copy the code inside the method because we already have the method name in here. So copy the method name. So this is what I'm just supposed to do. So now let's test. So we passed all the test cases, 5 test cases we've passed all. So now let's attempt to see if we are good to go or not. Whoa, we are good to go. So we can then submit and we move. So you can then see some other people's solutions there too. And then, so guys, thanks for watching this YouTube video. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel for more algorithm questions, and then don't forget to like, comment, and then turn on the notification icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos. So thank you guys.